time is it and what time is it? Let me tell you now, it is the DW World Equity Times. From now onwards, every Monday, 9 a.m., 10 minutes is all you need to spend with us. And on every Monday morning, we're going to pick a powerful stock, and it may come from Singapore markets, Malaysia markets, Hong Kong markets, China markets, US or UK markets. And we call this the OTOP 1910. One target, one purpose, Monday, 9 a.m. and 10 minutes. Be forewarned, we are not recommending any stocks, but it could be a very powerful stocks or very potential commodity counter for that particular week. So stay tuned, and what you're going to do next is every Monday, 9 a.m., just log on and watch us. Stay tuned and be our friend. I'll be right back. Hi there, everyone. Happy New Year, and this is the 3rd January year 2022, and we are going to start a new year of prosperity, health, and wealth. Thank you for watching the DW World Equity Time, and in this OTOP 74, we are going to share with you one very special episode contents that we're going to give you a general forecast on this year 2022 and what you could be watching for before the big market profit comes into your pocket. So stay tuned. All right, in this OTOP 74, well, we are going to talk about what could be coming your way and what to look for, and most likely for the whole year. Well, what could be a better choice of your portfolio which will increase in value. All right. In this coming year 2022, in fact, we are starting now. All right. First of all, I want to share a screen with all of you. All right. Let's take a look at well, that's it. The dollar index, that's very important. All right. If you look at this dollar index, okay, well, we see that the market has been top off recently at 97, and that's in November. All right. And November, and it has started to come down. And looking from this dollar index, well, the chart could be turning bearish. But if we are looking on a bigger macro level on a month chart, or as we turn to the month chart, well, what we see here is that either the market prices will go up to 100, all right, or maybe higher, or it may just come back off to this level at about 88 to 89. Okay, it could be two-way. But of course, if you look at a flag formation from here to here and the support at this bottom here, well, we want to stick to our first point of the US dollar index, which is in any time if we are looking at dollar index falling below 92 again, 92, okay, or lower, that is a sign of dollar strength weakening, and it could be driving up the commodity prices in this year 2022. Well, there are two important reasons here that we should be looking for, which is number one, the IMF, all right, which has implemented the pandemic stimulus of 1.85 trillion euros, sometimes about 15 months ago, all right, and the pandemic stimulus is going to end sometime in March this year, March to April, which is just another, well, 3 months from now. Okay, what is going to happen after the pandemic stimulus? Will be all used up, and what's next? Nobody knows about that. Okay, and secondly, the US Federal Reserve has announced the increase of the budget ceiling to 2.5 trillion US dollars sometime early last month, in early December, by President Biden, who has signed the bill into law. And this increment of the budget ceiling will actually allow the US government to continue paying money, okay, to support the government budget and the expenses sometime probably until mid this year. Could be anywhere May or June. So if you put the two matters together, okay, the two matters, we are expecting the IMF and the US Federal Reserve to be fully used up the printed money sometime on the second quarter of this year, the Q2, okay? It could be anywhere from April, May to June. And what is going to happen next is if we are not seeing any more liquidity in the market to support the COVID relief, so there could be a big correction or big volatility risk in the market starting from perhaps like May this year, 2022, all right? So this is a very important thing. So what we are putting in on this deduction is the dollar will be weakened, all right, as long as in the first 6 months of this year, 2022, that more money will be printed to support the market, both by IMF as well as a Federal Reserve. So if dollar is to be weakened, which is very likely happen, all right, what we mentioned earlier, if dollar index falls below 92, the very first thing we're going to see a spike up will be the spot gold prices. All right, let's take a look at the spot gold prices. And it is here. All right. Spot gold prices, in fact, on the last trading day of year 2021, closed at a pretty breakup price at $1,828 per ounce, and that is pretty strong. If we are looking at a month chart, well, what we see here is that there is a triangle formation here, all right, and the market is just beginning to break on the top. So that means there's a very high chance that gold prices could be resuming on a bullish trend. At any time, if the gold prices breaks above 2,000 or 2,050, there's a high chance for the gold prices to continue to climb up to $2,300 somehow before mid of this year, 2022. All right. And of course, not forgetting, what will drive up the spot gold prices in next coming few months will be exactly on the weakening US dollars that we just mentioned. So this is the first point we're going to talk about today, very important. And when dollar weakens, gold prices go up. The next instrument that will follow a bullish trend is WTI crude. All right. If you look at WTI crude, well, from the day chart, you may not see anything. But if you are looking at the monthly chart, all right, it is pretty strong above $60 because this is where the EMA, or we call exponential moving average, 200 days is trading here at about $60. So what we are actually foreseeing is the WTI crude prices could be doing sideways and consolidation between $65 to $85, all right? And also considering this month, January, the OPEC Plus members are starting to increase a little bit on global supply, all right? But we don't know how long they will do that, or they will start cutting back on the production again. But in any case, all right, we are looking at WTI crude prices, at least for the next few months, 3 or 4 months, to be trading between $65 per barrel up to $85. But if anytime if you see US dollar weakens, gold prices shoots up, and the WTI crude prices, all right, breaks above $85, I think there's a high chance for WTI crude to move back up to $100 per barrel, all right, before mid of this year. So this is the forecast of the first 6 months in year 2022. Well, I think that could be quite useful if you are keeping on this tip in your notebook. All right, let's take a look at the next thing here, Dow Jones. Okay, as you can see, Dow Jones here closed at the top over the year end, and it's a double top, all right. On a month chart, well, because earlier we were talking about a potential US dollar weakening and potentially more money to be printed. So just over the first quarter until March, or even until April in year 2022, we are expecting the Dow Jones prices potentially could be moving higher over the next few months, and it could be touching 38,000 points. Well, that's for the Dow Jones. And of course, to repeat, the factor that pushed up is the Dow Jones is exactly what we mentioned earlier, and that's due to the weakening dollar. So after Dow Jones, let's take a look at S&P. S&P, which also closed at a market high, okay, over the year end of 2021. If we are looking at this, well, the market is pretty bullish, and although it looked toppish at 4,800 points, But on the month chart itself, well, I think there's a high chance that same as the Dow Jones, the S&P could be moving up in a few more months, okay, over the first quarter of year 2022. And that's for the S&P. And if we look at the NASDAQ, well, NASDAQ composite has been doing a little bit lower, not on the high side, okay. On the month chart itself, yes, of course, we think that NASDAQ, it could be slower, but the potential rise is still in line with Dow Jones and S&P. All right, so this is for the US market. All right, I repeat, we are foreseeing a weaker dollar, which in return, we're going to see a higher spot gold prices, WTI crude prices, and most likely the US triple index could be moving higher, okay, at least for the first semester of year 2022. Okay, so now, if we are looking at spot gold prices going up, I think there are a lot of mining stocks that you could be looking at. Number one is, of course, the Barrick Gold in US, or maybe you could be looking at the another very popular gold mine stocks will be the, let me check it out. Okay, it could be Newmont GC, okay, on top of Barrick, as I mentioned earlier. As you can see, the prices are moving up. And of course, in the Hong Kong side, you could be looking at some state enterprises, gold mining stocks like Zhaojing 1818 or 3833, which is the Xinxin Mining, okay, and you guys have to just go in there and start looking for Xinxin Mining 3833 or Zhaojing 1818, both listed in Hong Kong price. And now we are coming to take a look at the Hang Seng, all right. First of all, well, what does Hang Seng tell us from this chart? I think Hang Seng is still pretty weak, all right. For the time being, funds are still moving out of the Hang Seng, and if you're looking at the month chart here, I think there could be a little more bottom to go, all right, and not likely to look at Hang Seng returning back as high as 30,000. So for those people who are picking long, be very cautious, only long on the gold mining stocks and avoid all other conventional stocks, all right. And the next thing we want to look at is the Hang Seng high-tech ETF, okay, high-tech ETF like this. Well, if you look at this, this is also pretty bearish here, and on a monthly chart, I think it has not seen with a reversal sign. So, well, if you want to pick bottom, wait for a while more, perhaps until the beginning of the second quarter in year 2022, all right, and be patient on that. And last but not least, I want to show you on Shanghai A50 ETF, okay, which is listed in Hong Kong, and the stock code is 2822. All right, we call it CSOP 2822, which is the A50 ETF that benchmark the Shanghai Composite Index. All right, if we look at this chart itself, let's take a look at the month chart. Well, I think definitely I will not try to go long because the pattern shows that it is quite bearish and it could be moving down in the next few months. We don't know how low it will go down, perhaps $15 for the start before it could go sideways. So on the forecast of year 2022, at least for the first semester, I think a weaker dollar potentially will drive up the gold prices and the crude oil prices. US triple index have still a little bit of room to finish on the upside. And what you should do is pick on the commodity stocks like food, water, utilities, or perhaps the mining stocks, all right, which I mentioned earlier just now on the few SOE stocks that is trading in Hong Kong and also in US, Barrick and Newmont GC. All right, so this is the OTOP 74. Okay, no specific stock pick for today, but we want to share with you on the forecast on year 2022. We hope all of you get our hint. All right, first of all, always look out on US dollar trend because that is a catalyst to start looking at other market instruments to find out if the overall market is going up or going down. All right, so stay tuned with us. Come back next week in OTOP 75 we shall continue to share with you on every week one potential counter that could be coming your way. Happy New Year and have blessings, a lot of health and good prosperity. See you again.